Hello, this is Joe with Nerd in Korea. I am on here again talking about mono green staple creatures this time. We're doing a budget staple series, and mono green creatures is up on this one, okay? So, there are many different definitions of budget. It is a very subjective term, and that's something even talking about budget things on the internet, that's a big thing that comes up, is that some people are like, oh, it's only, $7. Like, oh, great, only $7. It's budget then, because it's only $7. Yeah. $7 for a piece of cardboard this big. Anyway, I'm just rambling, sorry. But for my budget, I'm going to say $2 and under. Even $2 I think is pushing it. But anyway, yeah. Many budget cards' usefulness is a lot more niche than staples usually are. So that's kind of, I think, the trade-off with there are a lot of very good budget cards, but they're usually a bit more, not as widely useful. If you got something that creates treasures all the time, well, everyone can use that. So it's going to be expensive, right? If you got something where it's like, oh, you can draw a card maybe if this particular thing happens, well, that's a lot more niche. That's going to be more likely to be budget. But anyway. Cards. What is a staple? Cards that are frequently played and considered very useful in a wide range of strategies. So like I just said, I'm getting to the next point here. Budget cards are often budget because they have a limited usefulness, while staples are widely useful. So these terms are often antagonistic, right? So they're not really directly contradictory to each other, but one of the elements of a staple is that it's not as useful as, or it's more useful than budget usually is. Broadly useful, I guess is probably the better way to say that. But anyway, I am looking mostly for lesser known cards. I am including some cards in here where you're going to be like, yeah, of course, I know that. Most of the cards like that I put in here, I put in because they used to be much higher value and they came way down. So I'm not really trying to just point out cards that everyone knows. It's that the cards are previously very expensive and now are actually affordable. So what is mono green? Again, I start off almost every video series, color series, talking about this. 5 colors you probably know already. Mono green means only green. Mono green has a lot of synergy, especially with landfall. Alright? What green is really known for is ramp spells. Getting more lands down so you have more energy to cast bigger spells or more spells. And yeah. So landfall, something happens every time a land comes in. So if you're getting multiple lands per turn, you have more energy to cast bigger spells, and you're also getting some kind of bonus effect. Like blue with the card draw, I'd say landfall is to green what bonuses to card draw are to blue, basically. Budget green creatures. Okay, so here we go. Gruff triplets. This one is 6. Again, it's only 39 cents, so that's good. But ETB, you create 2 token copies of it creates 2 token copies of itself. When one gruff triplets dies, the others get +1/+1. So it doesn't matter which one, right? If it's the original or one of the copies. So using a thing like Populate lets you make a copy of a card, a token copy of a card you have on the battlefield, or just flicker it, right? Take it off the battlefield, put it back down. Take it off the battlefield, put it back down. Every time you do that, it creates 2 more. So if if, you know, a few of those die, it just makes all the other ones way, way stronger, which is very effective, right? Anyway, for 39 cents, if you're looking at any kind of token strategy or populate or flicker, I think this is definitely something to have kicking around. I've got a couple of these. I haven't thrown them into decks yet, but I definitely will. My Chatterfang. Yeah, Chatterfang's getting one of these. Karamitra's Acolyte. Again, it's a mana dork. That means a unit that kind of acts like land, right? Land makes mana. Mana dork is just a creature that makes mana. This one I think is much better than most, especially it's 59 cents. There are frankly much worse ones that are worth way more money. Mana dorks, the value I don't think makes sense at all times. Anyway, you create an amount of green mana equal to your devotion to green. Okay, so devotion might be something that you don't really fully understand, but that's alright. So, again, she has one green mana pip, or a green symbol, the green mana symbol. It's called a pip, and you count them, how many of them you have on the battlefield. So again, if you've got, say, 6 cards with, say, 8 of the green mana symbols, your devotion is 8. She creates 8 green mana then. And even if you just look like a last card, Gruff Triplets, that had 3 green mana pips on it, right? So if you have her and him down, that's 4 already. She's making 4 green mana every time. Especially with green, it's quite strong. Anyway, Rampaging Baloths. This is definitely a very common one. You'll see in a lot of even pre-cons have this a lot. So it costs 4 and 2 green. Not cheap, but it has trample, that's nice. And landfall. This is the main reason you want this. The landfall, create a 4/4 beast creature token every time you play a land in green. Green is like land. The cat song, you know. Okay, no. Anyway. So you just keep creating these. You keep creating the 4/4 creature tokens, especially if you have a token strat. Once again, like Chatterfang is a great example. You're gonna just be swimming in these guys. So yeah. Hornet Nest. Okay, this one I think is a little more niche. And maybe needs a bit more setup than most people are looking for. So whenever Hornet Nest is dealt damage, create that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch. Okay, this is something I want to, in the next couple of videos, I'm going to really stress. That combination is so strong. Flying and death touch. Okay, flying, it'll be able to block. Again, flyers people use a lot. It is probably the most common form of evasion is flying, right? So having reach or flying and death touch, if they attack, you're going to kill them, right? I am thinking particularly in Commander or any multiplayer game. If it's like, do I want to attack him and give him flying death touch? Or do I want to attack someone else who's not going to make flying death touch tokens? Yeah, no. I'm going to attack someone else. So it's 0/2. I think giving this reach or flying would be my first thought. Second, indestructible, right? So I'm not sure what, there's a lot of different ways, especially reach. There's a lot of bows, bow equipment you can use to give it something reach. And yeah, those are, you know, a dime a dozen kind of thing. So consider that, and a lot of times you probably won't get a lot of activations of this, but what you are going to get is a lot of people going like, yeah, no, I'd rather not. You know, I'm not going to give him. I'm not going to help him by attacking him. You know, like I don't want to attack this person and just give them a bonus. Basically, that's what this does. It kind of like it inverts the idea of attacking you as into something where it's like, oh, your opponent's giving you a bonus instead of actually hurting you. Hornet Queen. Again, the Flying Death Touch. Here, only 2, so not very strong. Also, only 50 cents. 50 cents is not bad. It costs 7 though, so very steep, right? Mana-wise, green at least can pay a lot of mana. But yeah. When Hornet Queen enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch. 4 flying death touch creatures. So even if they have, you know, like a whole bunch of flyers, they're going to be like, maybe not, right? That 4 of their flyers are going to die if they go at you or anyone else. They're going to choose anyone else, right? So again, this is something where you flicker it, right? You want that entering the battlefield multiple times and getting the most out of it. Hopefully cheating it into play as well. But, you know, we'll talk about that. Sylvan Anthem. Creatures you control gain, green creatures you control get +1/+1. That is called an Anthem effect. So Sylvan Anthem. Yeah, hey, there you go. Whenever a green creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Okay, what's important there, what makes that really good is not what it says, it's what it does not say. So that's something you should look for when you're talking about like different cards. What it does not say is token, right? It does not say token. Or non-token, I guess. Here it would be non-token. So whenever a green creature, not a green non-token creature, whenever a green creature enters the battlefield, scry 1. Even that queen, when she comes into the battlefield, you'd scry 1, she's green, and then she creates tokens that are green, so you get scry again, right? So this is just a huge bonus. Like green is always about creatures, about casting creatures, about getting creatures down, and often about making green token creatures. You can just keep sorting your hand. Basically, you know what's coming always with this. Very, very good. Only 2 mana. It's an enchantment, so I shouldn't have it with the creatures, but you know, I've got to make a mistake in every video, so hopefully that's the one for this video. But it's only 2 mana. Enchantment. Anyway, moving on. Keeper of Fables. This is, again, one of those cards where it's like everyone's gonna know this card. At one point, this was like $5. So it's come way, 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 way down. 14 cents now. Yeah, 14 cents. This is definitely like my number 1. Like used to be reasonably expensive and came down to like dirt cheap. Even I think this has to go back up at some point. But anyway. ETB. Again, enter the battlefield. ETB, enter the battlefield. A non-human creature. Whenever a non-human creature enters the battlefield under your control, and again, what it does not say non-token, right? So, like Chatterfang makes squirrels. Every time you know, every time you create any kind of token, it makes a squirrel token. Well, then you're drawing cards every time too. So that is, yeah. This is a great fine-tuning card. Again, like I said before, a lot of times you've got a deck, you really like it, it's doing, you know, you like the way it plays, but it starts running out of cards. Like you have a problem where it's frequently just, you know, your hands are shrinking, and then never really filling back up again. If you have this guy, he'll fill your hand back up pretty quick, right? So even just doing what green wants to do, he will draw you cards. Play lands, play creatures. That's green right there, you know? So 14 cents for this one. Definitely worth getting. The next one is very similar. Garruk's Pack Leader, 15 cents. 14 cents, 15 cents. I would get both of these and have like 2 or 3 of them just sitting around in case, you know, in case you need. This is a great kind of toolkit card, but anyway. ETB. Creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield. Draw a card. Again, so before it was non-human. Now it's power 3 or greater. Definitely, I'd say non-human is easier than 3 or greater, but I think you can make both work, right? With some decks, 3 or greater is probably the thing you want to go with. I think in most decks, you'd probably rather have the Keeper of Fables, yeah. Also, it's a cat, you know. People like cats. I'm sure. I know this. I know this will appeal in cats. Anyway, alright. Again, yeah, this is basically a different version of Keeper of Fables. So, yeah. I had to have both kicking around. They both have their place in decks, you know? So. Peregrine Took. Hey, the Lord of the Rings set. Making an appearance here. Going at 26 cents right now. I actually picked this up recently from one of my decks. Again, my Chatterfang deck. People are going to think I have one deck. The only thing I ever talk about on these videos is Chatterfang. I have 9 other decks made right now. No, 10 other decks made right now. Oh boy. No, it is 9. It is 9. I got 2 more ready. I just have to sort them, but anyway. Okay. Now I'm just rambling. I gotta stop rambling. Peregrine Took. So if you would create a token, make that many +1 food tokens instead. This is an easy combo piece. So again, if you want to make food, making food is very easy. If you make 1 token, this will just change it to 2 tokens that are food tokens instead. If you make, say, 5 of any kind of token, you're going to make 6 food tokens instead. So anything else that makes an extra token when tokens come into the battlefield, this automatically goes infinite with, right? So again, Chatterfang, every time you make a token, it makes an extra squirrel. This would get activated by that, which would activate the squirrel, which would activate this, which, anyway, yeah. Almost too easy, frankly. And sacrifice 3 foods, draw a card. Again, card draw is always welcome. You should look for it. It's one of the main considerations in every deck. Is card draw, right? Doesn't matter what color you're playing, you need to draw cards. And Destiny Spinner. This is an enchantment creature. Again, the downside being that anything that can kill the creature can kill it. Anything that can kill enchantments can kill it. Right? Creatures and enchantment spells you control cannot be countered. She prevents anyone from countering your spells. Again, those blue players that are a pain in the butt, not anymore. You can get all your creatures down without any hassles. Very powerful static ability, protects a lot of what you need. Again, 39 cents right now. Destiny Spinner used to be way up there. I think it was like 10 bucks at one point. I could be wrong, but I am fairly certain. I've got a bunch of them, so of course they're down to like 39 cents. But anyway, okay, in the next video, again, we're doing all of these colors in kind of series videos. 3 videos per color. So in the next video, we'll look at mono green instants and sorceries. So if you found this useful, please check out the next one. Also, if you could like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. I am just trying to get this off the ground right now. And yeah, see what... Anyway, yeah, take it easy and goodbye.